Hello and welcome to Soulgate channel. My name is Susanna and I'm super excited to welcome you on this beautiful sunny winter's day here in New Zealand. Today's practice will evolve around our legs that represent our ability to move forward in life. We will work onto the strength of the glutes, the quadriceps. We will work into our joints, into our hips, knees, our ankles. Do the best you can, put some upbeat music on, and let's enjoy next half an hour together. Come to standing at the back of your mat. Start rocking forwards and backwards until you gradually bring your weight evenly over all four corners of both feet. Then find your stillness, Tadasana, mountain pose. Press into the ground, engage your thigh muscles, feel them wrapping around the bones. Tuck the tailbone in, keep the back nice and straight. Move shoulders back, shoulder blades come close together. Bring your hands to Namaste mudra in front of your heart center. As you inhale, start lifting your hands up towards the sky. Blooming lotus pranayama. Open your fingers like flower blooming. Then with each exhalation, imagine you're tracing petals of a lotus flower as you float your hands back down in front of your heart. Inhale, lift your hands up over your head. Open your flower, then exhale. Trace the outlines of your flower. Find your own rhythm here. Concentrate. Focus on your inhalations and your exhalations. Your drishti, your point of focus, is at your lotus flower. Visualize that you are the bud that's growing up and expanding into blossoming lotus flower. Let your movements be graceful and relaxed. This is a nice meditative breathing technique. Keep your breath relaxed. Open your mind, open your body, and open your heart. Take one full deep inhale in. And slow exhale out. Let your hands meet in front of your heart center, your thumbs pressing into your sternum. Feel your heartbeat. Inhale, lift your arms up and over your head, palms facing upward salute. Next inhalation, lift the heels off the ground, lower. And again, inhale, lift the heels off the ground, balance on your toes, on the balls of your feet, lower it down. Few more times like this. Inhale, test your balance, engage your core, your leg muscles. Exhale, lower down. And again, inhale, come onto the balls of your feet, then exhale, lower your heels down. One more time like this. Inhale here, balance, hold, whole body engagement, lower down, release your hands down in front of your heart center, palms together. Then bring your hands onto your hips here. We'll move through some hip rotations, starting clockwise. Start rolling your hips forward, sideways, backwards, and over to the other side. Maybe start with making your circle small, then gradually, as you create space in your hips, increase the size of your circles. Breathe, don't hold your breath. Nice opening to the hip area. Beautiful way to distribute the synovial fluid around the hip sockets. For the balance of the body, change the rotational movement to the opposite side, counterclockwise. Take your time, move slowly, move mindfully. Your full attention is on your breath and on your movement. Taking one more round here. And then slowly coming back to center, grounding through the feet, back to mountain pose. Taking deep inhale here, and then start bringing your chin towards your chest and start rolling your spine all the way down towards the ground into full forward fold. Allow your arms to hang heavy in front of you. Maybe rock forward and backward. Find stability in all four corners of your feet. Allow your knees to be bent. Grab the opposite elbows and then rock from side to side, allowing your head and neck to hang heavy. Then for the balance of the body, switch the grip to the opposite elbows and either find stillness or continue with gentle sideway rocks. This pose is beneficial for stretching the spine, for increasing the flexibility of the hamstrings and calves in your hips. Pause here for a moment and release the hands down onto the mat. Inhale, come to half forward fold and start toe heeling your feet hip width apart or a little bit wider. We come to our malasana, our yogi squat. And I really like to move generously from side to side to find deep opening in the hips. Then coming back to stillness, bringing the sit bones closer down towards the ground, finding length in your spine, reaching the head up towards the sky. Bring the elbows to the inside of the knees, palms together. There's an equal pressure, knees into the elbows, elbows into the knees. Keep lifting the crown of your head. Taking one full deep breath here. And then with your exhalation, start making your way into a tadpole pose. Bring the big toes to touch underneath your sit bones. Bring your hips down towards your heels and reach your arms forward. Tend through your fingertips and walk them further away towards the front of the mat. Then from here, lower the head, either forehead or your chin down onto the ground. Keep length in your spine, keep engagement in your arms. This is a young pose. From here, we'll move into our lateral stretches. So taking an inhale here and start walking your hands over towards the right side of the mat as far as they go, feeling a nice juicy stretch in the whole left side of the body, all the way from your wrist to your left hip. Keep drawing the hips down towards the heels. Inhale here and start walking your hands all the way over across to the opposite side, towards the left side, for the right side body stretch. You're welcome to bend into the left arm and bring the left hand as a cushion to rest your forehead on. Keep drawing your hips down towards your heels. Taking deep breaths into your right lung. And coming back through to center. Bringing the forearms down, lifting the hips up in line with your knees. Open your legs as wide as your mat. Your heels and ankles are in line with your knees or slightly wider. You're resting on your forearms. Press your forearms into the ground so your shoulders lift. Great hip opener, as you've probably noticed. Keep the engagement through the belly here to support your spine, to keep it nice and straight. Draw the shoulder blades down towards the pelvis. Then start moving out of the pose by bringing the feet closer together, bringing the knees under the body. Finding your way, laying down on your belly, releasing the feet, tops of the feet down onto the ground, using hands to rest the forehead on. Deep breath in into your belly. Feel how your breath massages the lower back. You're welcome to bend into your legs here and softly wash your legs from side to side. And this way, find a release in that lower back. You can also Increase the movement into making circles with your feet clockwise and anti-clockwise. And then extend into your left leg and draw the right heel in towards your buttocks. With your right hand, reach for the top of your foot and draw the lower leg closer in towards your thigh. Good juicy stretch to the right quadricep. With control, release that foot. Bring it back down onto the ground. Take a breath. And then start bending into your left leg, keeping the thigh down on the ground. And the knee is also touching the ground. And you are kicking your foot into the hand, feeling the stretch in the left side of your quadriceps here. Release the foot. And lower it down towards the mat. Taking a moment here, reflecting on the experience of the pose. And bring your hands under your shoulders, press into your hands and lift your upper body up into baby cobra, Bhujangasana. Maybe lifting the hands off the ground, feeling the strength of your back, pressing the tops of the feet into the ground. With your exhale, lower down. And then inhale here, lift a little higher this time, maybe half cobra. From the sides, your elbows, your arms are at 90-degree angle. You're using the strength of your back to keep you upright. Your gaze is lifting, your chin is lifting. Lower back down onto the ground. And maybe opening your hands a little wider this time to come into a full expression of your cobra, lifting your whole upper body off the ground. Only the hip bones are pressing into the ground. If you want to take this a little bit deeper, bend into your legs and bring the soles of the feet closer towards the crown of your head. They may even touch. And with control, release back down onto the ground. Bring hands underneath the shoulders. Tuck your toes in. Roll over your knees into child's pose with toes tucked. Beautiful stretch through the soles of the feet. Keep drawing the hips down towards the heels. Keep the extension in your arms, in your hands. Forehead is softly touching the ground. Breathe. Plant through your hands, lift the knees off the ground and lift the tailbone up to the sky. Downward facing dog. You're welcome to paddle the feet out here. First down dog of today's practice. Do whatever feels good for you to do, maybe rolling the heels over towards the right side of the body and then across towards the left side of the mat. Nice lateral stretch through the body. Then grounding through the left foot, lift the right leg up behind you, point the toes. Draw the chest closer down towards your mat. Engage the belly. Engage the lifted right leg. Then inhale here and start bending into that right leg. Move it behind. Look underneath your left armpit at your ankle. Rotate the ankle clockwise, counterclockwise. Then come back to center. Start bending into the right leg and step the right foot to the outside of the right hand. Move that left leg further away from the body. Knee comes down, foot flat on the mat. Inhale, lift the chest up. Gently press your fingers into the ground. Lizard pose. I quite like to bring my right hand to the inside of that right knee and move that knee further away from the body. Roll onto the outside edge of that right foot. Find the point where you're feeling this pose, where you're feeling the intensity, but not to the point that you're holding your breath. External rotation of that right hip. If you'd like to move a little bit deeper into this pose, you can come onto your forearms and bring your upper body further down towards the ground. You might be even be able to rest your forehead, your whole body down on the mat. And when you're ready, bring yourself back up to upright and start toe heeling that right foot across the mat over to the other side. We'll move through the pigeon pose here. Look back behind you and make sure that back left leg is nice and straight. Then press into your fingertips and lift your torso up over your hips. Then bring attention to your hips. Square them to the mat. Maybe add flex to that right foot to support the right knee. And please remember to support yourself here if you need to. If you've got a blanket handy or a block, bring it under the left hip or under the knee. And start walking your hands forward towards the front of the mat. If you're ready to take this pose a little further, we'll come into forward fold pigeon here. You can absolutely stay upright if that feels better for you. Even if you do come down and you notice it's not a good pose for you, you can always come back up to upright pigeon. And press into your hands and tuck the back toes in. Lift that right leg back behind you. Hold it here for a moment before you bring it back down to meet the left, and walk the feet out here, alternate the knees towards the ground, finding the release to that right leg. Coming into a tabletop position, we'll move through a few cat-cows here. So as you inhale, arch your back, lift the crown, tailbone up to the sky. Exhale, puff up the space between your shoulder blades up to the sky. Look at your belly. And again, inhale into cow, exhale into cat. Finding neutral spine, extending the right leg away from you. Keep the toes down on the ground, draw the heel away from the body. Then inhale, lift the right leg off the ground. In line with your spine, keep engagement through the right glute. Then open the leg out to the side, keep it lifting high, working on the glute med. And that bend in the right leg, bring it back down to meet the left. We'll do this again. Inhale, extend the right leg away behind you, toes on the ground, heel away from the body. Inhale, lift the leg up off the mat, engage your glute. Exhale, open out to the side, keep the engagement, keep that leg lifting out to the side. Exhale, bring it back down to the ground. One more time. Inhale, extend, hips in one line, shoulders in one line, stacked over your wrists. Inhale, lift the right leg up behind you, point the toes down towards the ground. Open out to the side. Your foot is parallel with the ground, and fold it in back to kneeling position, and we'll stay with the right side of the leg, finding rotational movements clockwise 3 times and then counterclockwise, spreading that synovial fluid around the hip socket. Bring that right knee back down onto the ground, hips down towards the heels, child's pose, resting the forehead down on the ground. Noticing the difference between the right side of the leg with the left. Then coming back onto all fours and into downward facing dog, drawing the heels down towards the ground. Finding stillness, so if you feel the urge to walk it out again, by all means, please do that. Then lift the left leg up behind you. And keeping equal distribution of your weight over both arms, both hands. Then inhale, open the hips, stack the left hip over the right. Final rotational movement through your ankle, clockwise and counterclockwise. Look under your right armpit and then step that left foot to the outside of the left hand. Lower the right knee down, foot flat on the ground. We'll move through our lizard pose on this side. So coming onto the outside edge of that left foot, maybe bringing the left hand onto the left inner knee and pushing it away from you, encouraging the opening, the external rotation in the left hip. And as before, if you're ready to take it down onto your forearms, please go ahead and do that. If you try this and it doesn't feel right, please come up onto your hands. Wherever you are, breathe deeply. Send your breath to where your body needs it the most. Then with your next inhalation, if you're not there yet, come onto your hands and toe heel that left foot over to the other side. Release your left knee down onto the ground. Readjust that back leg. Look behind you and make sure it's in a nice straight line with toes pointing towards the back of the mat. Maybe readjust that front leg, flex through that foot to support the knee. Then stay on your hands with your body upright, or you can fold your body over towards that bent left leg. Keep the engagement through the fingertips, through your arms. Breathe. Then take one full deep breath here. Before you bring yourself back up, tuck the back toes in and lift the left leg back behind you. Then step it down onto the ground and either finding stillness or walking the legs out, alternating the knees towards the ground. And then coming onto your knees into tabletop position, moving through cat-cow here. Flow with your breath. Inhale. Exhale round. Inhale up. Exhale round. Coming back to neutral spine, readjusting hands and knees. Extend the left leg behind you, toes touching on the ground. Inhale, lift the leg up. Engagement through the left glute. Open out to the side, but keep the lift in that left leg. Exhale, bend into the knee, bring it down onto the mat, tabletop. 2 more times. Inhale, extend behind you, draw the heel away from you, and then lift up. Engage the glute, draw the toes down towards the ground, then open that foot out to the side, parallel with the mat. Bring it back down onto the ground. 1 more time. Inhale, extend. Lift it up behind you. The whole leg is engaged. Then open it out to the side before you bring it back down onto the ground. And then moving through the rotational movements on the left side, starting counterclockwise 3 times, and then changing direction over to clockwise. And once you feel balance on both sides, come back to center and we'll move into a child's pose here. Drawing the hips down towards the heels, resting the forehead down on the ground, but still keeping the engagement through the fingertips and the arms. Inhale here, press into your hands, tuck the toes in, lift the knees off the ground, downward facing dog. Maybe readjusting your feet, maybe finding any freestyle movement you feel that your body would benefit from at this stage of our practice. And then look between your hands and start walking your feet to the front of the mat until you find yourself standing between your hands. Inhale, half lift here. Exhale, fold forward. Either grabbing the hold of the opposite elbows or just allowing the arms to hang heavy towards the ground. I quite like to move from side to side just to release the tension in the hips, in the lower spine, in the hamstrings. Take one more inhale here. And then lift yourself up to standing. Your arms come up and over your head, palms to face, upward salute. Extension through the whole body, like you're trying to stretch yourself up to the sky. Release, bring your hands to heart center, Tadasana mountain pose. Ground through your feet, tuck the tailbone in. Engagement through the legs. We'll move into our next pranayama, a breathing exercise called Nataraja, Dance of Shiva. Keep your spine nice and tall and bring your right hand into Apana Mudra in front of your heart center. Then straighten your left arm overhead with your left hand facing forward in Jnana Mudra. Pointer finger touching thumb, remaining fingers extended. Lift your right leg, bend the knee, turn slightly outward so that your right foot with toes pointed is near the front of your left knee. Keep your spine tall. This movement is completed with your inhale. Then exhale, return back to standing position and move over to the other side. Left hand in Apana Mudra, right hand in Jnana Mudra. Left knee bend. Inhale here. Exhale, release back to standing and change over to the opposite side. Flow with your breath. This pranayama invokes the presence of Nataraja. It develops wisdom and develops understanding that the experiencer is the experience, that the dancer is the dance. Practice here and try to connect to the truest essence of life. You are what you believe you are. Flow with your breath. Keep your drishti in front of you. Eyes are open. Concentrate on smooth, graceful movements with your breath. Taking one more round here on the right. And on the left. And then return to a standing Tadasana mountain pose in front of your mat, palms facing forward. Inhale, lift, arms come up and over your head. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward. Bring your hands to either side of your feet. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bring your hips down, bend into the knees and bring your arms up into chair pose, Utkatasana pose. Draw the knees in line with your ankles. Sink the hips lower down towards the ground. Then with your exhale, fold into forward fold and then inhale into half lift. Then exhale, step both feet behind you, lower down, chaturanga, variation, knees, chest, chin down. Inhale, scoop up into upward facing dog. Press into the tops of the feet, lift the thighs, hips off the ground. Exhale, downward facing dog. Taking a moment here to fine tune your dog before you lift the right leg back behind you. Bend into that right knee and step the right foot between the hands. Take a moment to realign yourself. Then inhale, lift your arms, torso up to the sky. Find engagement in the back leg. Draw that left heel down towards the ground. Then bring your hands to your heart center. Start moving your upper body over your front leg. Spring into the back left foot and move into a warrior three with your hands in Namaste Mudra. Finding balance, engagement in both legs. Pressing into that standing right leg. Bring both hands down to the ground. Standing split. Draw the upper body, your head down towards the standing leg. lift the left leg higher into the sky. Then inhale, half lift here. Exhale, start finding bend in both legs. Bring that left knee to the outside of the right foot. Sit your hips down. Come into a seated position with your legs crossed. Then inhale, reach the left arm up to the ceiling. Press the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Come into a twist. Your right hand is resting behind the lower back. Keep twisting. Where the gaze goes, the body may follow. Inhale here, then return back to center. Bring your hands to the front of the mat and then lift yourself up to standing splits. Before you lower that left heel down behind you and scoop up to warrior one. You can bring your hands onto your hips and encourage that left hip forward in line with the right hip, sinking lower into the front knee, keeping the engagement through the torso and your arms. Open up, warrior two. Your gaze is through the front middle finger, the chin is lifting. Sink low into the front knee, inhale here. With your exhalation, move the right hand to the inside of the right foot. Left hand, left arm comes up and over your head, reaching to the top right corner of your room. Rolling the left shoulder down towards the ground, stepping the right foot back to meet the left, finding your plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale into up dog, pausing for a breath. Finding arch in the spine. Exhale into downward facing dog. Taking a moment to fine-tune the form. Then inhale, lift the left leg up behind you. Bend into the knee and step the left foot between the hands. Find the alignment, then lift the arms up to the sky. Lift the torso up. Draw the right heel down towards the ground. Keep the right hip forward in line with the left hip. Bring the hands to Namaste. Shift the weight forward and then spring off that right leg as you move into your warrior three variation with hands in Namaste. Keep lifting that right leg behind you. Keep grounding into that standing right foot. Then release the hands down towards the ground. Lift the back leg higher. Energy shooting through the back toes out. Then exhale as you bend into both legs. Bring that right knee beside the left foot. Sit the sit bones down onto the ground. Make any adjustments you need here. That bottom leg can always extend out towards the front of the mat if having both legs bent feel uncomfortable for the knees or your hips. And then move into your twists, bringing the right elbow to the outside left knee and twisting towards the left side of the room. Keeping the spine nice and tall, keeping engagement in your core. As you inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deepen into the pose. And with tall spine coming back to the front, moving out of the pose the way you went in, lifting that right leg up behind you. With control, step it back behind you. Lower the right heel down onto the ground and then inhale, lift your arms, torso up to your warrior one. Bringing hands onto hips, making adjustments to the body and then finding strength in your warrior one, your Virabhadrasana one. Inhale here, open the hips, open the arms to the sides, warrior two. Finding strength in your form, I quite like to look back behind me and check what my other arm is doing. Is it in line with my front arm? Palms are facing down. Inhale here, bring your left hand to the inside of your left foot and then move into your extended side angle with that right arm up and over your head. One line of energy from your heel all the way to your fingertips. Release your right hand down onto the ground. And then stepping that left foot back behind you, finding high plank. Inhale here, chaturanga, exhale down. Inhale, up dog, pressing the floor away from you, lifting the chin up towards the sky. When you're ready, press into the tops of the feet and lift the tailbone up to the ceiling, downward facing dog. Bring your feet down onto the ground. And then taking a moment to acquaint yourself with your form. Coming back to your breath. Start bending into the knees. Look at the front of the mat and step or jump to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift here. Bring hands onto your shins. Exhale, fold forward. And prepare for chair pose. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend into the knees. Sink the hips low. Inhale, lift your arms up in line with your torso. Keeping your knees in line with your ankles. Bring yourself up to standing. Tadasana, mountain pose. Hands in Anjali Mudra. Reconnect to your breath. And then maybe start widening your stance, toe heeling your feet hip width apart. Releasing the hands down beside the body, palms facing forward. A mountain pose. Finding engagement in the whole body. From here we'll move into a blooming lotus, devotional pranayama we have opened our practice with today. Connecting breath with hand motion. Inhale, lift your hands up, open your fingers wide like a lotus flower. Exhale, outline the petals of your lotus, bring your hands together in front of the heart center. Visualize yourself being a lotus bud that with a little bit of love and compassion opens up and blooms into a beautiful lotus flower. Despite all the mud, despite all the murky waters, it has to grow through. It's all for the growth of the soul. One round here. Inhale in through the nose. Soft exhale out through the nose. Bring hands to your heart center. And I trust you have enjoyed your practice today and you indeed feel like you have created some space in your legs. Thank you. Namaste.